For this lesson, you will need colored pencils or crayons in 5 different colors, a pencil or pen for taking notes, your notes packet open to page 2, and the periodic table given to you in class. The goal of this lesson is to color code the periodic table on page 2 of your notes according to the types of elements present. You can go back later and color code the periodic table given to you during class if you choose, but many people decide not to do this. Remember, you can pause the video at any point if you need more time for your writing or more time for your coloring. Bring your notes packet with your color-coded periodic table to class with you tomorrow. Remember that a column on the periodic table is called a group or a family. There are 4 families that have names that are commonly used by chemists. The first column is often referred to as the alkali metals. Although hydrogen is in this first column, it is not considered to be an alkali metal. The elements in the second column of the periodic table are called the alkaline earth metals. Next, we will jump to the other side of the periodic table, to the set of elements in fluorine's column. These elements are called the halogens and include fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and astatine. The last column on the periodic table with a commonly used family name is the noble gases. The noble gases are located in the far right column. Some of the remaining families do have names, but are not commonly used, so these are the only 4 family names you will need to know. Next, you are going to color code your periodic table. Elements on the periodic table are classified into one of 5 categories. These categories include metals, nonmetals, metalloids, transition metals, and intertransition metals. Choose 5 colors and make a key similar to the one shown here below the periodic table. You can make this key anywhere you would like in your notes. I will be using highlighters to color my periodic table because they look nice on the screen, but you can choose any color of crayon or colored pencil that you would like. You may want to pause this video while you make your key. First, you will color the elements that are considered to be metals. These include the alkali metals. Remember not to color hydrogen because it is a gas, not a metal. The alkaline earth metals, and one element from the other side of the periodic table, aluminum. Aluminum is easy to remember because you are familiar with aluminum foil, which is clearly metallic in nature. Next, you will locate the nonmetals on the opposite side of the periodic table. Also go back and pick up hydrogen from the first column. This section is a little tricky to color, so go slowly and choose your elements carefully to match the ones colored green on your screen. The next set of elements has properties of both metals and nonmetals. They are called the metalloids and create a border for the nonmetals. Notice the dark blue staircase on the periodic table that you were given in class. With the exception of aluminum, the elements that touch this staircase are metalloids. The next group of elements are metals, just like the first 2 columns, but have some special traits and get a special name designation. The transition metals are located in the short columns of the periodic table and in a little triangle that extends over beneath the metalloids. Most of the metals you are familiar with, such as silver, gold, copper, zinc, and many others, are transition metals and found in the middle region of the periodic table. Lastly, we have the bottom 2 rows of elements, which are called intertransition metals, despite the fact that they are located outside of the main table. These elements belong in the empty space on the tables and have been removed from the table to make the table a more convenient size. There is one last term that you will need to be familiar with when using the periodic table. Chemists use the term representative elements to refer to the elements in the tall columns of the periodic table. These are also commonly referred to as the main group elements. This concludes your tour of the periodic table and types of elements. Bring your notes packet with your colored periodic table on page 2 with you to class tomorrow as evidence that you have completed your video lesson.